All right, let's get right into it. If your team is feeling that pressure to start using AI, but you're just completely overwhelmed about where to even begin, then this is for you. We are going to break down a really simple, actionable starter plan, and it's designed for any team. You don't need any technical background at all.
You know, the whole conversation around AI and the future of work is just, it's huge and for a really good reason. It was kind of kicked into high gear by viral videos like CGP Gray's Humans Need Not Apply. And that video made millions of people, myself included, really stop and think about how automation is going to fundamentally change our jobs. The stakes just feel incredibly high.
And that's the big question, isn't it? We know AI is this massive, transformative force, but just knowing that doesn't magically give you a clear first step. I mean, it's one thing to understand the world is changing. It's a completely different thing to know what to do about it on a Tuesday morning with your team.
This right here, this is the single most common thing I hear from teams and leaders. It's this feeling of paralysis. You see all the shiny new tools, you hear all the hype, and it just leads to more confusion. So if you're feeling that way, you are definitely not alone.
So what's our first instinct? Usually it's to go looking for that one perfect AI tool that's going to magically solve all our problems. But that's a trap. The real solution isn't about technology at all. It's about people. It's about shifting our mindset from chasing tools to building practical, hands-on skills with your team. If you take away one thing from this, let it be this. Successful AI adoption does not start with a software purchase. It starts with a small, manageable change in your team's weekly routine. It all begins with practice. And the good news is, getting started is way simpler than you might think. We're going to walk through a super simple 3-step starter plan that literally any team can start using right away. And here it is. It really is that straightforward. First, you just identify one single task. Second, you create one approved prompt to help with it. And third, you practice using it as a team. So let's break down exactly how this works. Okay, step 1 is all about making this as easy as possible. Don't try to solve your company's biggest, hairiest problem right out of the gate. Instead, just find one small, repetitive, maybe even slightly boring task that your team does over and over again. Think about stuff like summarizing your weekly meeting notes, or drafting those standard email replies, or even just prepping research briefs. Remember, the goal here is not some massive transformation. The goal is simply practice. You're trying to build a new muscle, not run a marathon on day one. All right, so once you've got your task, step 2 is about creating some guardrails, a way to use AI responsibly. This is where you, as a team, decide how you're going to use the tool in a structured, consistent way. And this has 2 parts. First, the prompt itself. A simple, clear instruction for the AI, something like, summarize these meeting notes into 5 key action items. But the second part, and this is absolutely key, is the validation checklist. This is the human part. Your team agrees to always check the AI's output. Is it accurate? Are the action items clear? Does it sound like us? This keeps you in the driver's seat. And see, this highlights the huge difference between just automating something and actually augmenting your team. That little checklist, it forces a habit of critical thinking. It ensures AI is a co-pilot that you review, not an autopilot that you just blindly trust. So that brings us to the final step, the one that brings it all together. You've got your task, you've got your prompt and your checklist. Now you just need to build a consistent habit through collaboration. And look, we are not talking about a huge time commitment here. We're talking about just 20 minutes a week. That's it, a short, dedicated session to make this a team habit. Consistency is so much more important than intensity here. This simple little ritual does something incredibly powerful. First, it creates a safe space for people to experiment without being afraid to mess up. It lets team members share what's working. Maybe someone found a slightly better way to word the prompt. And most importantly, it builds this shared, collective confidence with these new tools. Because that collective confidence, the kind that's built from all these tiny, consistent practice sessions, well, that's the foundation for everything else that comes next. This is how your team goes from feeling overwhelmed to feeling truly empowered. It all starts right here. That first time someone on your team saves 15 minutes by summarizing meeting notes. That's not some massive corporate transformation, right? But it is a small personal win, and that feeling is contagious. It proves that, hey, this stuff is actually useful.
And that confidence, that's the fuel for real adoption. See, when people feel competent and they see the value for themselves, you don't have to force them to use new tech. They'll start looking for new ways to use it all on their own. And that is how real change spreads organically through a team.
Because at the end of the day, the organizations that are really going to win in this new era, they won't be the ones with the longest list of AI software subscriptions. No way. They will be the ones with the most AI-literate teams. People who know how to think critically and work collaboratively with these amazing new tools.
So I'll leave you with this one question to take back to your team. Forget about the big, scary picture for just a moment. What is one small, repetitive task that you all could choose to practice on together for just 20 minutes this week? Because that's where you start.